today's show. It's a Mailbag Monday edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns. Proper expectations for Jalen Green. Is Donovan Mitchell still better than Devin Booker? And are the Suns just a team that have no idea how to trade? It's all that and much more in this edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, and welcome back into yet another edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of Locked On Phoenix Suns and a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We got a lot of things to jump into this edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns. Some questions about Jalen Green. It's a Mailbag Monday. Some Luke Kennard, Miles Bridges. Do we expect them to have a career year like others have had under Jordan Ott? Plus, some Suns front office questions that you guys have sent to me now that Peyton Watson deal has indeed happened. I've got a lot of good information for you guys. If there is a show that you guys should be watching all the way through, this is the one. All right, I got some good information for you. So we're going to get into all of it in just a second. But first, today's episode is brought to you by my friends over at FanDuel. Join all the action at FanDuel.com to play daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer this MLB season. All right, let's dive deep into the questions. Let's go into it right away. And let's start with this banger, right? Or let me actually say this right off the cuff too. If you guys want your question featured on the next edition of Mailbag Monday, which obviously will be next Monday, put your questions down below in the pinned comment that I have in every video over the last couple of weeks. We'll just say, hey, put your questions down here. Put your questions down here in the YouTube comment section, or DM them to me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, any social media platform. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever it is. At Ben Garcia Show is the @ that you can send it to, at Ben Garcia Show. Send it over there, and I'll answer your questions. Some of you have sent me emails with questions, which is just awesome. I'm not going to give you my email. If you could find it, you could send me an email too, but you could send it over to any social media platform at Ben Garcia Show. Okay, let's dive right into it. So here is a question from my guy, Z Bala. I am more focused on the first one that he said. Do you think Jalen Green is expected to score 18 to 20 points per game in the 2026-2027 NBA season, which is next year? And if he does, who would you trade Jalen Green for the year after if he were to get traded? So I think it's too soon to start looking at players and saying, oh, I want the Suns to trade Jalen Green for this player. It's unfair to do it. Let me tell you what I know. Okay, this is not my opinion. Well, this is my opinion, but it's a informed opinion, and you can do with that information as you will. The Phoenix Suns think very highly of Jalen Green. And here is what I know. Here's what I know about Jalen Green. Now this part is not my opinion. This part is informed. Jalen Green is going to have a good season, or they're shipping him out of here. He will not be on the Phoenix Suns the following year. That is what I know. And so expectations of points and what Jalen Green should be next year, I don't know. Right? Here's the other thing that I know. That I know that the Phoenix Suns, think about Jalen Green. He's going to be asked to be the point guard. Like, it's not going to be Devin Booker. Of course, Devin Booker is going to have the ball in his hands. And it's kind of going to be a shared activity between different players, whether it's Booker or Green or even Miles Bridges. A lot of these guys are going to be bringing the ball up the court. But make no mistake about it, Jalen Green is going to be the point guard for this team. So I look less about Jalen Green, and knowing that, I look less about Jalen Green, the scorer, and more about Jalen Green, the playmaker. Meaning, sure, do the Suns need him to score 17 to 18 points efficiently, which is the key word there that people leave out. And efficiently, yes. And I know Devin Booker likes Jalen Green. There's no animosity between those two guys. Jalen Green, the thing that gets mentioned all the time is that with him is that he saved the Suns in the playing game. Now, I can have my opinion about Jalen Green, which is inefficient basketball player, hasn't really shown the ability to playing winning basketball. Well, Ben, they were the 2 seed a couple of years ago, and then he promptly played really poorly in that playoff series and lost to the 7 seed Warriors in the first round. He is an inefficient shot maker he's an inefficient shot maker, and he's a volume shooter. This is a make or break year for Jalen Green. Again, this is an informed opinion. Either Jalen Green, who, and the Suns have chopped up Jalen Green's year last year to he was injured, and it's not fair to take into account that full season because a lot of it was just him getting his legs under him. But if Jalen Green does not have a good season, he will not be a part of the Phoenix Suns next year. The Phoenix Suns view Jalen Green as a part of their culture, but let me pull a peek behind the curtain a little bit. The Suns view Miles Bridges as the center of what they do. And again, you and I could have disagreements about that, but they view Miles Bridges as the center of what they do. Culture, grittiness, tough guy. They also view Dylan Brooks as that guy, Jordan Goodwin as that guy, and as well as Miles Bridges. Guys like Jalen Green and Mark Williams, kind of on the outskirts of that. And so Jalen Green's got a clean slate. He's got healthy. We know he's worked his ass off in the offseason. If he comes back this year and takes a step up in playmaking, helps create for others, makes the spacing better for Devin Booker, and becomes a little bit more efficient, he will be on this team for years to come. So I'm not even really looking at, what could the Suns get for Jalen Green in the future? I'm not interested in that. What is he going to do this year? That's the expectation. And if he does that, he's going to get a lucrative contract extension, and he's going to be with the Suns for years to come. So there's that. Here's another question, because I love talking about this one. This is from HoopsPlug96. Speaking of 2K ratings, Donovan Mitchell is a 93. Booker is a 91. Can you please answer this, Ben? Because I'd love your take on it. I'm very passionate about this for years now. How in the hell is Mitchell better than Book to media and now 2K year after year? Booker and him both put up 25, 27 points per game. Book rebounds better, passes better. He's a taller by 3 to 4 inches, and a much more solid defender as well. Took his team to the finals as the best man on a team, dropped back-to-back 40 points in the finals, which Mitchell has never even sniffed. Can you please explain to me how in the hell Mitchell is always ranked higher than Book and everything? It's recency bias. That's all it is. So my buddy, Danny Cunningham, he covers Locked On Cavs. Great dude. We talk all the time. He's like my closest friend in the Locked On NBA community. He's honestly like one of my closer friends, but that's because I'm a dad and I'm always busy and I can never hang out with anyone else. So it's more so just me texting and calling him. But he would tell you Donovan Mitchell's better than Devin Booker. For the longest time, I would say Devin Booker was better than Donovan Mitchell. Right now, if people tell me that Donovan Mitchell's better than Devin Booker, I don't really fight it very much. And if people tell me Devin Booker's better than Donovan Mitchell, I usually agree with them. Because I agree with you. Like, it just matters. Donovan Mitchell, prior to this season, how about this? Donovan Mitchell has never won a conference finals game. And he's been the 1 seed 2 different times on either side of the conference. So I agree with you. I do think Devin Booker is better. But it's just recency bias. And here's the other thing. I don't really give a damn about NBA 2K ratings. It's a bunch of nerds putting it into a computer and putting numbers down. Like, I really don't care at all. It's like my least important way that I view where players stand in the NBA. Now, I will say that it is a common take. Like when the NBA top players come out from ESPN that they do every single year, when that comes out soon, Devin Booker will most definitely be behind Donovan Mitchell. And it's just recency bias. The Phoenix Suns have been a team that people can largely ignore and get away with it. It's like the Arizona Cardinals. They're just always listed as the worst team in the NFL because no one, like, they don't care. And like, we can get away with not doing research on this. People aren't paying attention as much to the Suns. And I'll tell you this, I think that's a good thing. The Suns do better when they are counted out. That's my belief on it. So yeah. Bunch of players had really good years under Jordan Ott last year. Should we expect the same from both Luke Kennard and Miles Bridges? We'll talk about that next. First, today's episode is brought to you by my friends over at FanDuel. Baseball fans, if you think you know who's hitting a homer today, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers. It's easy to play. Just make your free pick on who you think will hit a home run in their next game. If you're right, you'll receive a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. Best of all, you can make a free pick every day throughout the MLB season. Daily Dingers is another fun way to stay engaged with everyday games, whether you're following your favorite team or keeping an eye on matchups across the league. Every game has someone capable of going deep. Now you get the chance to make your prediction before first pitch. Sometimes it's a hitter who's on a hot streak, a favorable pitching matchup, or even a ballpark that tends to give up runs. Chase Field, Coors Field, both places that can go deep. Those are always the first things I look at before making my daily Dingers pick. Listen, maybe you're not picking Ketel Marte because he's out at, Casino, Arizona, just hanging out while the Diamondbacks in the middle of a playoff push. What about Corbin Carroll? He's just recently off an NL Player of the Week stint. Maybe go ahead and pick him. So are you ready to play your game? Join all the action at FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a home run. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. Let's continue rolling with the punches. So this was another good question that came off of the Jordan Ott way of doing things. Question for the mailbag. Quite a few players had career years in Ott's system last season. When you're mentioning this, I believe they are talking about Jordan Goodwin, Dylan Brooks, Colin Gillespie, Grayson Allen to an extent, Royce O'Neal at one point. Numerous of different players had career years. They also said, should we expect that from Bridges or Kennard? And bonus question, do you expect Bridges' defense to improve under Ott this season? So this is kind of interesting because the first thing I thought of when I said this was, no, they're older players who have played a really long time in the NBA. But then I look at Dylan Brooks, who's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be his 10th year in the NBA. He had a career year under Jordan Ott last year, career year in points, career year in field goal percentage. Had some other things that went down, but a career year in shooting the basketball from the free throw strike. So he had a career year in multiple different avenues. And so how about this? Which one am I expecting more to have a career year? Miles Bridges, because Luke Kennard is what he is. Luke Kennard, with Luke Kennard, it's fascinating. How is he going to be better when he's kind of already the best at what he does? 47% from three last year, 49% from three the year before that, 43% from three the year before that, 45% from three the year before that. What am I going to ask for Luke Kennard to shoot 50% from three? I think that's unfair. I actually think Luke Kennard's three-point percentage is going to take a tick down, where I think he's going to shoot 42% from three this year, which, by the way, is elite. Well, Ben, why would you say that? Because he's going to be asked to shoot 7 a night. Luke Kennard shot, this is his career averages shooting from three. 3 a game, 3 a game, 4 a game. You have to go back 4 years ago to see when he shot 6 of them a game. He needs to shoot 7 3-pointers a game. That's what he's going to be asked to be done. And so I actually think his numbers are going to come down a little bit to 41% because naturally when you shoot more, your percentage is going to come down a little bit. But I still think he's going to shoot 42%, which again is good for one of the best in the NBA. Still very elite. They're going to ask him to do more though. So maybe his career points go up. So maybe I think Luke Kennard averaged 8, 9, 7, 9, 11 points a game over the last couple of seasons. I would say he averages the most points. Maybe you have to go back to 2019, 2020, where he averaged 15 points a game. I would say Luke Kennard averages 12 points a game this year. So there you go. That's somewhat of a career year for him. The guy I'm expecting more to have a career year from is Miles Bridges. And I'll tell you this. Again, informed opinion. The Suns, try to go down a lot of different avenues. They landed on the Miles Bridges avenue. I cannot, I don't want to say the players that I know that the Suns took a gander at. I feel like I should put because I've always told you guys, I'm not a reporter, don't want to be a reporter, but sometimes things change and I got to change the way I do things. And I feel like I should have a reporter cap, as a bit for the show where I throw on my reporter cap, but I also don't want to be a reporter, but I do want to share this information with you guys. So you guys know when I have an opinion And when it's an informed opinion, so maybe I should have an informed opinion hat because I don't really want to be the reporter guy because that's just not my lane. There's other people that do the reporting stuff. But here's what I'll say. They landed on the Miles Bridges Avenue, but they do love Miles Bridges. They do love Miles Bridges. They believe his three-point percentage, which we heard this from Brian Gregory, is skewed. A lot of the things I've heard is he took a lot of three-point jumpers late in the shot clock. He's a better catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, which, again, I don't agree with, than the Phoenix Suns, than a lot of us believe he is. So they think he's better than that. So I'll tell you what, I am expecting a career year out of Miles Bridges because of what the Suns sold us on him. And to them, they don't view this trade as Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal for Miles Bridges. They basically view this trade as 2033 first-round pick, salary filler for Miles Bridges. That's how they view it. And so I am expecting a career year from Miles Bridges. I am. And it's because the Suns have filtered my mind with they love him so much that they think he is going to take that next step. We can go into my opinion, and if I think that is going to happen, I have severe doubts of that. But I know that they love Miles Bridges, and they believe he is at the center of what they want to do culturally. Again, not my opinion. It's an informed opinion. So there's that as well. So yes, do I expect them to have better years? In a sense, for Luke Kennard, definitely for Miles Bridges. Because that's what they're telling us to say. That's what they're telling us that he is going to do. My personal opinion, we'll see. We'll see. I would say that I am more towards the I'll believe it when I see it realm. But we'll just leave it at that. Because I've already mentioned my opinion on Miles Bridges. I'm not going to beat you guys over the head with it. You guys know how I feel. So we'll go from there. The other thing that was said here, do you expect Bridges' defense to improve under Jordan Ott this season? It better improve. Here's another thing that I know. Reporter cap on. One of the reasons why they view Miles Bridges as why they love him so much, this is not my opinion, it's an informed opinion. He guarded the best player on the other team a lot. So they believe with Dillon Brooks and Miles Bridges in the starting lineup that they're going to take a step up defensively. And that is going to alleviate pressure off Devin Booker and Jalen Green. So we'll see. But that's what they believe. All right. Keeping it rolling. Here's a question about Haywood Highsmith because he was gone and now he's back. But I still think I can answer this question. Could the Suns at least gotten a second for Haywood Highsmith instead of just waiving him? No. Haywood Highsmith is not worth a second-round pick. Second-round picks are kind of currency in the NBA. I don't know if you guys realize that. Second-round picks, like people want second-round picks because you can trade them. You can flip. When I say you can trade them, obviously, you can flip them when you have multiple of them. Like 2 second-round picks now could get you a late first-round pick. Like we've seen that with the Suns. The Suns traded 3 second-round picks to get a late first-round pick for Koa Pete. They're currency in the NBA, and they're not interested in just throwing those away for Haywood Highsmith, especially because Haywood Highsmith isn't playing on a lot of teams isn't playing on a lot of teams in the NBA. Here's another one. Cam Whitmore was included in the Peyton Watson trade and will be bought out soon according to reports. Do you think the Suns should have taken a flyer on him rather than re-sign Haywood Highsmith? Whitmore is a good 6'8", 6'9", can shoot the 3 ball and creates off the dribble. I think we would have been an interesting pickup for the Suns. I agree with that last part. It would have been an interesting pickup for the Suns. But Cam Whitmore is what he is. I remember at one point he won the Summer League MVP. He is, I don't really know what you're saying when you say that he's a good three-point shooter because he shot 35% a couple of years ago with the Rockets, and he played in 51 games. But this last year, where we only played 21 games, he shot 28% from 3. I don't know. He's 22. He's a little bit older. He's 6'6". He's 230. Like, where would he play? The question is, like, where would he play? And the concern with Cam Whitmore would be that he would expect to play. And so I'm assuming he would go somewhere where there's an open roster spot because I mean, I've got 15 other guys that I mean, genuinely, not even tongue in cheek. I have 11 players that I'd rather play over Cam Whitmore. I mean, let's just go through them really quickly. That'd be kind of fun in the handy dandy notebook. Who would you rather play? Mark Williams. Who would you play over Cam Whitmore? Mark Williams, Oso Guidaro, Kamon Malawach, Miles Bridges, Rasheer Fleming, Dylan Brooks, Haywood Highsmith, Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin, Luke Kennard. I guess it would have been interesting, but he would have never played. So not super interested in him. Are the Phoenix Suns front office just terrible at making trades? We'll talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them seem to talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform, from sales and accounting to inventory and marketing. Everything works in one place. Odoo is one platform to manage, grow, and scale your business. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working towards the same common goal. And that's true in sports, just like it is in business. One thing that really stands out was how the Phoenix Suns got everyone pulling in the same direction with the Kevin Durant trade. It wasn't just one great coach or player. It was a coordinated effort across the entire organization that helped made it successful. I'm talking about Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and Kamon Malawach and Rasheer Fleming, bringing all those guys in to revolutionize the next iteration of the Phoenix Suns. The adjustment itself was important, but what really impressed me was how smoothly it was implemented. Everyone knew their role. Everyone's on the same page, and that's what usually separates good organizations from great ones. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. Here's a great question. Right here. Actually, no. Let's start here. After seeing the Shams tweet on the Peyton Watson trade, am I crazy to think the Suns front office might actually be due to at trades? Arch rival Dan Gilbert's Cavs only gave up in a 3-team trade Max Strus, an unprotected first-round pick, and a second-round pick for 23-year-old Peyton Watson. There was suspect news that the Cavs were the Suns' competition for Miles Bridges. Watson is better in every way than Bridges. I think the Suns might have gotten played. So how about this? Let's talk about it like this. Again, let me tell you an informed take about Peyton Watson. The Suns kicked the tires on Peyton Watson. They did. They kicked the tires on him. But part of the reason why and I don't know this to be the case, but this is now me kind of guessing here. I just know that they kicked the tires on Peyton Watson. Here's what I'll say. Peyton Watson is 6'8", listed on ESPN, and Miles Bridges is 6'7". But Peyton Watson is more of a guard. He weighs 200 pounds, and Miles Bridges weighs 225 pounds. One of the reasons why you can kind of infer as well that the Suns also did kick the tires on Peyton Watson is Peyton Watson is a clutch client, and this I'm assuming now, this is my thought on this, that the Suns didn't want someone who is another guard, plays smaller than he is. He's not this like big bouldering player. And a lot of Peyton Watson, although I really like Peyton Watson, is a little bit of a risk because Peyton Watson, his sample size is so small. The player you see might not be the player you get. Whereas Miles Bridges, he kind of is the player you see, the player you get. So do I think Peyton Watson has a higher upside? Yes. And would I have traded Jalen Green to go get Peyton Watson? Absolutely. But we know the Nuggets did not want to take back any salary. And I don't know what the Suns would have had to traded to go get Peyton Watson. And it probably, and it does, I mean, it doesn't seem like it was out of their price range. So which leads me to believe is the reason why the Suns didn't go after Peyton Watson was because he just doesn't fit what they do. He's another guard. It's what he plays. Yes, he's 6'8". Yes, he's 200 pounds. But they feel like Miles Bridges, who gets downhill and who's 225 pounds and guards the other team's best player, even though he's not a great defender. That's just what the statistics say. That's why they went and got Miles Bridges. So we could have differencing of opinions. I would have preferably rathered Peyton Watson on the Suns because I'm not a big fan of Miles Bridges and his game. But that is my rationale for why they did it. And the Nuggets couldn't take back any salary, so the Suns couldn't trade anything to go get him. So whereas with Miles Bridges, they sent out some salary to make those things match. Because remember, the Suns aren't a second apron team. So there's that as well. The Nuggets took back zero salary. None. Zero. And that pick that the Cavs gave up is sooner, 2031 first round pick. That doesn't make it more valuable. Obviously, it doesn't. Because the Cavs are good right now. But that could have played a role in it too. The Nuggets might just not have been interested in the Suns pick. Again, that part I'm unsure of. What I do know is the Suns did kick the tires amongst other players that I won't mention. But they went to a couple before they got to Miles Bridges. But Miles Bridges made the most sense for them. How about this? This is a sad one. If you are losing, if we are a losing team at the trade deadline, is the plug pulled? Do you see us trading away some key guys? Basically, what Shane here is saying is, if the Suns are a losing team at the deadline, do you think they'll pull the plug and trade away some key guys like a Green, Booker, Brooks, or now even Bridges? They're not trading Devin Booker. Again, something that I do know is they are not trading Devin Booker. They are not. Like, again, that's maybe like a duh, but that is me adding on an extra. They are not trading Devin Booker. They are not interested in it. Booker is happy here and is not, he's not outwardly saying like, I want to be anywhere else. And we're not seeing the Shams tweets for that. They are not trading Devin Booker. They are hellbent on figuring this out with Devin Booker. Dylan Brooks, no. They're not trading Dylan Brooks either. Jalen Green, no. Miles Bridges, no. That's an interesting question. I could see them trading on the margin players if it's just terrible. And it has to be terrible at the deadline. Like they've only won 17 games. Like it has to be awful at the deadline. They've won 20 games in 50 tries. They're 20-30, right? It has to be terrible. And do I see them trading off? Could they trade off Jordan Goodwin? Maybe. Could they trade off Mark Williams? Maybe. But they're not trading that core. Booker, Bridges, Brooks. That's not an informed opinion. The only one that is informed is Devin Booker. I know they're not trading him. My thought process, my opinion is they wouldn't trade the other guys either. That's just my thought on it. So with that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Send in your questions down below in the YouTube comment section or on any social media platform at Ben Garcia Show. Send them there. I'll answer your questions. Really great slew of questions today. But until Wednesday, I'm Benjamin Garcia. It's been Locked On Phoenix Suns. See you guys later.